Hello and welcome back to another cast here on my little YouTube channel. Today we've got one I'm especially excited about. This is Light versus Bonneth. Now, I'm sure many of you know Light, and I think most of you watching this would know Bonneth, but if you don't know who Bonneth is, he is basically top 2 non-Korean player, and it's been like that for the last couple of years. He's a Polish player. Somebody whose stream I personally love to watch. I think he's got a really incredible take on the game. I'm always fascinated with any players that can get good at this game that aren't integrated in Korea, that don't speak Korean, because there's so many tools in the Korean language to learn and improve. And the fact that you can get anybody who's kind of a lone wolf, who's out there just figuring it out on his own, is really something special. So the map is going to be Invader. Before we get into this video, please like the video, subscribe, let me know what you think about the game in the comments. And see this 12-sided die, Never Lucky shirt? You can get that at my shop at tastelessthreads.com, along with a bunch of other cool stuff. So we're going to get into this game now. And I guess I didn't introduce Light, but he is arguably the best Terran off and on. When Flash is not active, and Flash is not active right now. And I'm at 20-sided die. The chat caught me, not 12-sided die. Sorry. You just found out I'm a fake nerd. I'm actually a jock bro, and I'm pretending to be a nerd right now. All right, we're going to get into this cast. All right. So this is Invader. This is a map that is actually called that because it's supposed to look like a, if you just look at the mini map at the bottom left here, it's supposed to look like a giant space invader. So that's where they got the name for that. And I'm going to turn my camera off now because when I cast, I get real ugly, man. Just furrowing my brow, I'm spitting everywhere. You guys don't want to see that. So Bonneth is down here. In this bottom right location. Top left, we've got Light. And I think that Invader especially makes for some very interesting positional games because the map is basically split in half. I probably could have I could have showed this already. So there's a ramp that goes down here and then a main exit that comes out. You have your third base either here or here. From the perspective of Light. Big high ground area, and then it's a pretty quick push down into your opponent's part of the map. But there's also these other pathways down here that allow you access through the main, or the middle, excuse me, in a very different game, as well as these positions over here, going all the way down here into the bottom left where there's a base. So, you know, will that play a role here? I don't know, but, you know, PvT, especially as the Terran gets stronger, becomes a very punishing matchup for the Protoss if they, you know, have to fight. So a lot of times Protosses are doing these counterattack strategies, just like you'll see a Zerg do to a Terran or a Protoss, where anytime they leave, you just run right back in there and hit them. And so now we have to wait and see what kind of game is going to be developing over here. We've got no quick expand at all for the Terran. The Terran's going to go for 3 gases. By the way, guys, I'm sorry. I don't know why the stream keeps dying when I'm recording these, but it happened again. I'll try to figure out why my stream's going in and out when I do these casts. So the first factory goes down, only 1 SCV and gas. So this is looking to be the classic mainline TVP opener. Now, Bonneth goes for Zealot first. This is a more trendy build here in PvT because it stops you from losing to cheese. Nexus first is also very common, and Nexus first is basically beaten by double proxy barracks. And so a lot of Terrans will get a Zealot just to deal with that. And also, it's just a good tool to have to engage with the Terran early on. So Zealot comes up over here now. And he's basically going to scout with this. He's going to get it confirmed that this is not a command center first or anything like that. and he'll be staying back for a little bit. Bonneth has his second Dragoon coming out, and this is a very standard way to play. You have a few less probes if you go for the Zealot double Dragoon opener into Nexus, but it's still a pretty good way to kind of play a tight game. The pylon comes down over here. And the SCV will come down to make this command center. Meanwhile, this SCV was trying to come inside and scout the main and check for Robo or maybe even a Citadel or something like that. But Bonneth is not going to let that happen. Oh, hold on. What? He's going to run back. And he should get that final shot off unless he's really unlucky and misses. And so, you know, what's happening inside the main base, it's a bit of a mystery. But in this case, we know it's going to be a pretty standard play here. Robo on the way. The second gateway starts. And let's take a look over at Light and what he's up to. Are we going to have another factory? Is there going to be a starport maybe? What's this SCV going to do? An academy. Okay. Which is completely fine. I guess if you can't scout into the main, you might as well get scanners to scan in there to figure out what the hell's going on. Because, as we all know, there's a lot of sneaky stuff a Protoss can do early on in a game. So out here, Light's going to push out a little bit and basically try to confirm there's no probes or Dragoons out here to spot. And he's even coming through here with this Vulture. This is like a really impressive formation that Light is moving down in here into. Now, he's got to be careful because this might not be enough to take a real fight. But it looks like he's pretty confident. He's going to send his Vultures around. He's going to push up now. The Zealots and the Dragoons are running back. The third Dragoon is going to run up here now. He's trying to target what he can up here. Good maneuvering there by Bonneth. He's always had such great control. Some spider mines are going to be planted. The Zealot dives in to try to draw the mine on top. Oh, my God. He actually does shoot down that mine at the last second. And Light's going to back up. And this is a little bit of a greed check here from the Terran. This is a moment where the Terran comes in and says, okay, do you have enough? Can you actually handle what I've got? If so, let's try to have a little bit of a back and forth and see what we can find out. Over here, we've got the armory upgrading. And back at home for the Protoss, it's going to be a third base. Now, we don't have any definitive tech right now. This is just 2 gateways, observers. It looks like Bonneth, and I've seen in a lot of his games when he streams. By the way, check his stream out. It's a really cozy stream to watch. He likes to do a siege mode check because some players... Oh, hold on. Vulture comes in. He's going to get a few more kills on these probes. Not bad. And the idea is that if they don't have siege mode, you can run in and maybe even kill some tanks. And so he's going to try to just dive bomb down on the bunker. I think it's literally about as perfect of a repair as you could ask for. And so not much is going to happen. But don't forget, it's 4 Dragoon shots to kill 1 tank. And so any position where the Dragoons can come in for a 2-shot on a tank, they'll do exactly that. Now, we still don't have siege mode up. In fact, it's almost done. But for now, Light has to be extremely careful. By the way, the barracks is actually a pretty good target to get because if you kill the barracks off, they can't make factories. So sometimes this can look like an insignificant building, but in reality, it's actually a pretty big deal. Big scan comes in over here. Bonneth actually does come in. He's going to go dive on top of these tanks. He gets the kill. Was it an overextension? Man, maybe it wasn't, actually. He's going to get every single tank. This is wild. This is really impressive. So, look, in case you're confused and this looks to you like a trade, sure it is, but you're always fine trading a couple Dragoons to kill off their tanks and Goliath. You're making Dragoons the whole game, right? So, the third base up and running. It has been for a while. The Reaver tech is inbound. The shuttle's almost out. We've got 4 gateways up here. And Light had to deal with a bit of a reset. You know, losing those tanks, it's always a problem. Over here for For Light, I mean, he basically can't leave his base for a while. He is doing a good job with these vultures killing workers, actually. I should really highlight that a little bit more. He's been pretty punishing. But, you know, if you go Tank Goliath siege mode like this, and what is he getting? He's getting the missile upgrade. I mean, you just can't really attack out. Dragoons will just beat your army. Now, that's a good scan. He kills another obs. That's especially punishing when you're dealing with Reaver tech like this. Especially on one robo. But, you know, it does seem like there's been a general theme in StarCraft right now where more than one robo is becoming less extraordinary and more pretty normal. We're still waiting for that fourth base to come down, but it looks like he's almost set up to do this. Another observer is going to come. Is Light going to notice this? This is one way Light can keep himself in the game, is to just scan. You know, observers don't have great vision until you upgrade them. And doesn't look like he's upgraded that just yet. Although this does have speed, from what I could tell, from that little movement there. Another scan, and this observer is going to be punished once more. And again, when you're a player who's going for Reaver tech, it's really hard to actually keep track of the Terran. Okay, this is actually totally insane. I can't believe he did that. That was a huge blunder by Boneth. That was crazy. I can't believe he did that. Obviously, I guess he wanted to drop a Zealot here, fire a shot with the Reaver or whatever, but he's really freeing this up. Are we going to have another scan here? You know, Light has already gotten 2 observers. Is he going to get a third? He sees it. And, you know, the thing is, man, when that Goliath missile upgrade gets done, you got to get out of town. You got to really keep your distance. Boneth tries to get whatever damage he can get over here, and he does kill the factory. And so how many factories do we have? We're up to 5. So it's not like he killed it right when there were 3 factories where, you know, this would be a really tender moment, really painful point here in the game for him. But, you know, I keep going back to that Reaver and Shuttle and Zealots that were killed off here, and I'm really uncomfortable right now for Boneth, honestly. So it looks like we're going to have carrier tech, I think. I don't see where exactly the oh, there it is. He was just late on making it. Okay. So he's getting the fleet beacon over there now. The probes are going to be transferred to the 4th. Now, you can do this as Protoss, but it's easier said than done. You know, we talked about Tank Goliath earlier and how Terran doesn't have much to fight with. Well, he only had to push out and take a 3rd base. Now we're going to have Goliaths and Vultures come into play. And when you tech the way that Boneth is teching, one of the issues that you'll run into is that you don't have much more than Dragoons and then, of course, a Shuttle with a Reaver here and there. And so there is a point where, unless your Reaver shots are completely insane, which, by the way, counts keeping your Reaver alive, which Boneth didn't do earlier, unless those Reaver shots are really able to accumulate a lot of damage, sometimes Terran can just get in there and do what they want to do and start to push you down and kill you. Now, with that being said, this is not the easiest base to push. This base, kind of hard to get to. This base also, you know, it's a bit of a walk for the Terran to try to get over there. By the way, if we could just turn off Light's vision for a second, look at the map. This is what it looks like for a Protoss who does not have observers. If you look at this and you feel like you'd be very uncomfortable, you're right. Because you have no idea what's going on the map. So the Shuttle and the Reaver are going to come in here now. Now, oh my God, there's Goliath ready to catch this. Oh! Oh man, I feel like this is just so greedy. Somehow he actually gets in, does the damage, and gets back out. Impressive. Still though, I mean, it just feels like Terran's getting so big and powerful. Now this is 3 Stargate development. Oh, did I say 3? Make it 4. But 3 carriers, you know, 2 can't quite get anything done. 4 is formidable. 3 is somewhere in between all that. And how many Goliaths does Terran actually have? I see 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9 Goliaths. Well, I don't know. Does Boneth just get crushed here? He has made a lot of Zealots. I'm sure Charge is almost done. Maybe Boneth can buy a little bit of time here, but it's not going to be easy. You know, the Zealots can beat Tank Goliath, but when you have a lot of Vultures like this, the Zealots are not so tough. So it seems like Boneth wants to try to basically pull around here and try to run underneath this, as we're seeing right here. Oh, was it 11, chat? Sorry, guys. I mean, Light's doing everything that he needs to do. He's shelling this base. These probes are going to be killed up here. It's time for the counterattack. Zealot speed is done. A Reaver comes in here. Dude, there's only Vultures right now. This is the same Reaver from earlier. The Scarab does not connect. The Vultures, funnily enough, actually end up beating the... oops, sorry, my cat's jumping on the table here. The Vultures beat the Reaver, which is going to make this a pretty tough one to take. Meanwhile, the 3 carriers are out. The Dragoons are going to come forward now. He takes out this command center. Or, well, he takes out the position. The command center is still alive, excuse me. And then the server connection has... Oh, no, that's actually my connection because something's wrong with my connection while I'm casting this. I thought that the players dropped out of the game. The carriers are still taking on the tanks. I mean, hold on a second. Terran's on 2 bases right now. The Zealots and the Dragoons come back. Oh, my God. Hold on a second. Now, the last Nexus falls. This is one of these very funny positions you can get in PvT, especially with carriers. They both basically denied each other the ability to mine. Light more so denying Boneth than Boneth denying Light. But at the same time, Boneth has now accumulated 6 carriers. So 6 carriers on a hobbled Terran economy. I mean, that you can actually kind of close it out if you play it right. It's all about how well you can control. The carriers are going to come up now. Now, all you want to do here is target these tanks. That's your goal. If you have to target Goliaths or Vultures, you can. But if you get the tank count down low, suddenly what wins is actually the Dragoons and the Zealots. Just checking, taking a look at the hotkeys here for Light. And, you know, one thing is, how many Nexuses are being remade? 1? Okay, he's literally getting all 3 Nexuses up at once. That's very cool to see. He wants to basically explode back into the game economically. And, you know, we talked earlier on about these little pathways that you can run in and out of. We're seeing that be used right over here. But, I mean, is there actually enough? And by the way, there are no more carriers started here. Light is also maxed out. That's very important to note. All these carriers, I mean, health-wise, I mean, they're actually pretty good. He's still keeping all 6 going. I think it might be unwise to send the Zealots right in like this. I think actually that's one of the ways that Boneth could actually lose this game. It might better serve him to try to run up here and punish this base instead. But now, you know, the trade-outs have begun. Light's certainly not maxed out anymore, but the Zealots are going to come in here. It's important that Light targets the Dragoons in these moments. And I think that's exactly what's happened here. And now I think that Boneth is actually in serious trouble. Are there more carriers being made? No, there's not. Instead, I mean, what do we even have here? This might just be the very end of the game. I mean, the Goliath count appears to be such that you can just basically shoot down all of the interceptors as they come out. GG, that's it. Crazy game. Let's go back for a quick second here. By the way, for everybody who's watching on YouTube and on Twitch, there's a major storm in Korea right now while I've been recording these, and I don't know if that's why we're losing connection. I don't know if it's because my VPN sucks and that's why we're losing connection, but it's distracting for you, I'm sure. It's distracting for me. Sorry about that. So, yeah, I'll try to figure this out for future recordings here. Anyways, I mean, this was a crazy game back here. I think that Boneth could have possibly still won it. But, you know, the push that came out from Light was a pretty scary one. He basically came in. There it is. Okay, we're going to get to this part of the game. He did a pretty perfect job at boxing the Protoss in, but again, a feature of this map is you always have an escape route. And a lot of times when the Terran is finally committed to the push, that's where there's always an opportunity to come in like this, do a big counterattack, and deny a base, which is exactly what he did. This base is almost mined out. This base is going to be the only functional spot for most of the rest of the game. The carriers almost saved this base, but I think probably long-term what allows Light to win the game is just that he's able to get this Nexus shut down. So after this Nexus is killed off over here, and it was literally Goliath, like, diving on the Nexus to kill it, you see no Nexus, no Nexus. Sorry, my observing's not that good. No Nexus, no resources. So it's a very specific time in the game to get shut down. Whereas for the Terran, he's able to land the command center down over here. He has one being built over here, and he never lost this. And so that's where, even though all the Nexuses were remade, and I think the decision-making was really good for Boneth, there's this window in time where Light is able to basically mass up enough to do this, and so at the end of the day, I think maybe Boneth should have tried to do another counterattack, run around and hit up here. But there you go. Thank you for watching that cast of Light versus Boneth, and please subscribe to the channel. Check out tastelessthreads.com for our 20-sided Never Lucky die, along with a whole bunch of other gaming, esports, RTS related stuff that I think you'd really like. And sorry again for the weird connections issues in the game. I don't know if it's because there's a huge thunderstorm outside right now or if I need to upgrade my VPN, but I'll try to get that fixed. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.